Today, 3.6% of the world's population, around 281 million people, are international migrants. Many of them come from countries affected by war, poverty, and lack of opportunities. But imagine a world where third world countries experience growth, stability, and peace. A world where migration becomes a choice, not a necessity. Wars and conflict displace over 100 million people globally, forcing them to seek safety across borders. In 2022 alone, violence in countries like Syria, Yemen, and South Sudan displaced millions. But studies show that when conflicts de-escalate, migration drops dramatically. Take Colombia, for example. After the 2016 peace agreement, internal displacement fell by 90% and fewer Colombians sought refuge abroad. If similar progress is achieved in other conflict zones, the need for forced migration would be greatly reduced. Economic factors are one of the primary drivers of migration. According to the World Bank, in countries where per capita income rises above $8,000 annually, net emigration rates start to fall significantly. Look at South Korea. Once a major emigrant country, its economic boom reversed the trend. As the economy grew, fewer people left. Mexico has seen a 40% drop in unauthorized immigration to the US over the past decade, largely due to job creation at home. Access to quality education and healthcare reduces the push factors that drive migration. When people see a future for their families at home, the incentive to leave diminishes. The UN reports that countries with higher literacy rates and lower infant mortality also see lower emigration rates. In countries like Bangladesh, which has made strides in education and healthcare, poverty rates dropped by 18% in the last decade, and emigration slowed accordingly. Healthier, more educated populations create more resilient societies, reducing the need to migrate. But it's not just conflict and economics. Climate change is emerging as a leading cause of displacement. By 2050, an estimated 216 million people could be internally displaced by rising sea levels, droughts, and other climate-related disasters. However, investing in climate resilience, like green technologies, sustainable agriculture, and infrastructure, can help nations adapt to these challenges and reduce the forced migration caused by environmental degradation. As countries develop and stabilize, migration patterns shift. According to the International Organization for Migration, when nations improve their economies, reduce conflict, and invest in education and healthcare, migration becomes more about opportunity than survival. For example, between 2010 and 2020, countries that saw significant economic development, like India and China, experienced a sharp decline in outbound migration. As more nations achieve these milestones, the overall pressure on developed countries to absorb large numbers of immigrants will decrease. Reducing wars and promoting peace, fostering economic growth, and addressing climate challenges are not just humanitarian goals, they're global solutions that reduce the pressures of mass migration. When the world works together to invest in development, fewer people will be forced to leave their homes. By helping nations thrive, we create a world where migration is a choice, not a necessity. A world where every individual can live in peace and prosperity in the place they call home. Progress is global. When third world nations prosper, migration becomes a choice, not a last resort. Together, we can build a world where staying home is just as appealing as seeking a new one.